Alright, guys. So I brought up my CPS case and I got into more recent details even with it. And now it's Kylee Dixon's turn to talk. My turn to talk about why I got into talking about my case. Was the Kylee Dixon case is very intense. They claim that this mother medically neglected her child when in fact quite the opposite is true. The chemo was going to kill a 13-year-old girl. But that was decided to not be the case because, well, a doctor said so. But it was the same doctor giving her the chemo, sinking the mom into an incredible debt, I'm sure. People don't realize chemotherapy isn't cheap and that you can't just afford chemotherapy on a whim. And so, with Kylee Dixon's situation, she was directly kidnapped by the state, just kind of like my own situation with my daughter, where I sought medical help for my daughter, but when I did that, that was turned against me as somehow I knew my daughter was going to seize and was trying to make that happen. And same thing in the case of Kylee Dixon. The state's just accusing her of they're accusing the mother of Kylee, pardon me, of trying to neglect the child's medical needs when the child's medical needs weren't being met by the doctor. The doctor was aiming to kill the child. That's it. And unless that doctor wants to come out and make a public apology speech or anything addressing that, that's exactly what that doctor is doing, and anything less is just a lie. Anything less is a lie. We settle a lot as people, but I think that one thing we can't settle on is when doctors mistreat children. I settled and it made my case worse. I hope that Kylee Dixon's mom continues to fight the state into federal court, because they will lose in federal court for what they've done. Your child has been molested by the state, by what they allowed, by who they put that child in with foster care. Guaranteed they're trying to kill your daughter to cover that up. I will guarantee you that much. Just like how with the mother they worked to cover up what happened in my case. I have no reason to lie about what happened in my case. The mother of my daughter almost killed my daughter. Kylee has been molested, and that's not up for debate. The state fucked up, and the state needs to start working to get Kylee back to the mother. And the mother was using CBD oils to help treat the condition, which was helping. A child is very different than an adult system. An adult system will not take just to the CBD oils. You will need typically some sort of extreme protracted treatment as well. To fight cancer. As I say that as I'm smoking a cigarette, but to fight cancer you do need a longer and more protracted treatment. You really do. And in Kylie's case, she is a child. Her system is more adaptable than ours. The CBD oil introduction, actually living in Colorado, this is a thing I'm very proud of a lot of parents for having come out here for. And Miss Dixon, if you can get your child back, I highly encourage you to come out in Colorado. You will find support. You will find networks of support. And I will tell you right now, don't ever let any county's CPS get involved with your child, because they will all try to take your child. That's just their prerogative. No, they should be called child procuring services, not child protection services, because what they do is they procure the child from the parent to put into foster care. So I mean, however you want to cut it in this one, child prostitution services, because they're gonna give your kid to someone who's gonna molest them. That's what they do. That's what they are. My beef in my own state goes back to Arapahoe County. This lady needs help. I mean, this is just a shout out to anyone willing to help Kylee Dixon and her mom. Look up her name on YouTube, look it up on Google, look it up wherever you have to find more information. Watch a news story about it, if they even will put one out. Probably not, because the news is a part of, if there's a civil war, who we're going after, because who co-opts the government in stealing our children? The left also, but mostly the government. The leftist government helps co-opt in the stealing of children. Let that sink in, that it's always been a leftist thing to steal children from single mothers and minorities, and that they played y'all into thinking you had so much power so they could play you in court to take away all that power. What's going on with Kylee Dixon is a proof of why families need to be together, in a sense. Now, I don't know what happened with the mom and dad. I'm sure whatever. I don't care. That's not the business that matters at hand. But when we think about it, America, who keeps CPS from barging into the house? It was always the father. who steps to the door and says, no, you don't have any business. I'll call a cop and I'll call a lawyer and you will get off my property. That's what I'm going to tell any CPS agent trying to involve themselves in my case in the future is get off my property. Do you have a warrant? Do you have a reason? Do you have paperwork signed by a judge in a court that you need to remove my daughter or come into my home? If either of the answers are no, then you need to leave. Don't even give them a chance to talk. Tell them what the case is and why they would need to leave if they don't have anything they need. But again, this is to raise awareness for what's going on with Kylee. I know I got a lot of good patriots keeping up on my page, and I really do appreciate you guys. I got a lot of good men's rights activists keeping up with my page, and I appreciate you guys. We really need to get out there and start making more active moves. Next February, at the end of it, I'm going to court against my aunt. Because in my case, where at least I know where Ava is, Miss Dixon doesn't know where Kylee is. She can't even figure out how Kylie's doing. She can't even get a phone call without the dude who molested her ripping the phone out of her hands. Let that sink in for a minute. Let that sink in that that's the case, that she got her 13-year-old a phone that she can't contact her with now. Let that sink in that that's what the state's doing to kids. Like I said, there was a reason I brought my story back up, and it was really because of this. It was more or less to raise awareness for what's going on with Kylee Dixon, and I think the best way to help is honestly to get in contact with the mom. If the mom hasn't started already with something to seek out legal help, I mean, let's get it going, guys. Like, shit, I'll get a couple bucks together and donate it to Kylee's mom. If she puts up a fucking Patreon or anything asking for help, for legal help, I would gladly, because I know how much it costs. I know how fucking hard it is. And I know what it's like to be losing your baby. I really know what it's like to be losing your baby. But again, this video is just to raise awareness about that situation. Reach out to her if you can, if she's got the support network set up. Do some research on your own, look into it. I only know what I know from videos of her talking, and so I don't know too much about where the mom's gotten to and where she's at, but I mean, she needs help and advice and support, guys, and we need to show her that we're here with her. And I mean, really, it wasn't negligence for her to not want her daughter dead. The state has too much power over a kid, and my story is proof of that. Sorry, I'm heart heavy now. Other than that, let's let Miss Dixon know she's got some support though, guys, because really this shit touches my heart, and it really hits me hard, like seeing other parents going through what I went through. It ain't right. Other than that, guys, leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about Kylee's situation, what you know. Maybe I need a link to send to, I'll put a link up in the video if there is any sort of funding for her. But on a real note, that really hits me hard. I've been there. I've been worried if my daughter was gonna die. Even with my aunt, I won't know anything until the last moment. With my daughter, and so I understand how the state really separates the family and makes y'all separate yourselves and not work as a family. I'll be honest, I miss my baby every day, and I get told every day by my own family, my mother, my aunt, that I don't. Even though I spent 1.5 years in court fighting so my baby could be with my aunt, they like to forget that. So just remember, Miss Dixon, until your baby's back with you, you really ain't got your kid. Whether it's with family or friends or whoever, unless it's with someone you really trust, you ain't got your kid. So remember, just keep fighting, Miss Dixon. We're here for you. Some of us been through it already, and we're here for you. You've got support. In the watery eyes of a father, you've got support for you and your daughter, even if it's just a chat. So other than that, peace out, YouTube. Catch you later, and have a good one.